Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Wright and I am a transformation coach and holistic therapist. Today I want to talk to you about self-limiting beliefs, negative self-talk and mental blocks. So who am I? Okay, as I said, my name is Kelly Wright. I'm a holistic therapist and transformation coach. I help people who feel stuck, who feel overwhelmed, debilitated, or have destructive habits. What we do in our sessions is we get to the root cause of what is holding you back or causing you a problem. And then in turn, I will help guide you to fully resolve any associated issues. I tailor your sessions to you and focus on the results that you want. I use powerful blends of coaching, therapy, and healing modalities to enable you to redesign your life and live life on your terms. So, what are self-limiting beliefs? A self-limiting belief is something that holds you back in your life. They're basically the bullshit stories that we tell ourselves, the excuses we hold. Now, negative self-limiting beliefs that stop us as us and our beliefs. So there's a guy called Dr. Maurice Massey, and he proposed there are 4 different types of periods in our life which we experience significant emotional events which shape our personalities and our decisions. Between the ages of 0 to 7 is our imprint period. So this is a really vital area of your life where you learn you have people telling you things, you have friends at school or teachers or parents, and that is a real vital area in a child's life. Then we have the ages of 7 to 14, which is our modelling period. Then we go on to 14 to 21, which is our socialisation period. And then from the ages of 21 to 35, that's our career and business period. So self-limiting beliefs and decisions are essentially the can'ts, the don'ts, the shouldn'ts, and the wouldn'ts. So we sometimes will know exactly what they are, what our self-limiting beliefs are, and we'll be sometimes what they are, minds that they're completely out of our awareness. Now, what happens is they come from a decision that was made a long time ago, and that then forms a self-limiting belief. As I say, today, sometimes it's just out of our awareness. We're not even aware of exactly what it is. Something can happen and then it triggers off this self-limiting belief and then causes a mental block. Now, the limiting decisions that we made in the past can keep us from making decisions in the present, and that make it possible for us to create the future that we want. And those are the ones that we want to get out of our past. We want to clear them all out. They stop us from achieving our goals, stop us from in our relationships, in our business, our careers, our health, and everyday life. So the best thing to do is to commit your mind, to get into the right mindset, to start working on these self-limiting beliefs, is to commit your mind to something serious. Rather than hope to achieve any results that you want, commit to them. So say, I will lose 2 stone in 2 months, if that's one of your goals. Whatever your goal is, you say, I will, rather than I hope to. You have to live that goal as well. So with the NLP techniques that I use, I help clients to really visualize a goal that they want. So I ask them to be able to visualize it in a picture, so to be able to see the goal, to see what you would see, to feel what you would feel, so any feelings, any emotions that you will have, and then hear anything you will hear. So go back to that goal of I will lose 2 stone in 2 months. If that's something you really want, you could picture yourself in the clothes you'd wear if you were to lose 2 stone. You could feel the feelings of happiness, joy, excitement. You could hear people saying to you who are close to you, saying, well done, you look amazing, or even your own self-talk, what you say to yourself when you lose a 2 stone. So just imagine it being real, because what will happen is the neurons in your brain will start to reconnect. They don't know what's real and what's real. If you start feeding this information to your brain, telling it, this is what you see, this is what you feel, and this is what you hear, your brain will start to connect that to being real. You can start by unearthing your own limiting decisions by asking yourself a few questions. So you could ask yourself, what are the results that I've produced in the various areas of my life? What are my results not in alignment with what I really want to be, do, or have? And what area of my life have I really tried to improve, but no matter what things just don't get any better? Start to use something called counter statements as well. So if you're constantly listening to your self-talk and you're saying to yourself, life's a constant struggle, there must be something wrong if life seems easy, pleasurable, or fun. Instead, say things like, life is pleasurable and fun. That's meant to be fun, not full. It's all right for me to relax and enjoy myself. Life is an adventure in which I'm learning to accept both ups and downs. Using positive self-talk is much more better than using the negative self-talk. So mental blocks. A mental block is an uncontrollable suppression or repression of painful or unwanted thoughts or memories. It's basically a figment of our unconscious mind. They are produced in the unconscious mind from past experiences. These mental blocks are there to basically remind us of the things that we must overcome. They are not a process of the conscious mind because we never actually impose these on ourselves consciously. They arise from the self-limiting decisions that were made a long time ago, and today they are just simply out of our awareness. Then what will happen is something can happen, an incident, and which then triggers it off, and then that's when we have these mental blocks. So negative self-talk, or your inner critic, your inner demon, whatever you want to call it, these are the voices that are in your head that are responsible for the way you feel. You see, when we have thoughts, everything starts with a thought. We think something, then we start to get feelings around that thought. Then we get emotions attached to that thought. And then that then produces the way we act, our behavior, our habits. And then therefore it affects our results. So you could be self-sabotaging yourself. You could be doing something that you're not fully aware of doing, and you keep thinking, why do I keep messing this up? Why do I keep messing relationships up, or going for the wrong type all the time, or not making the money I want? It's usually because of some thought process that you've got that needs to be addressed. So the negative self-talk is that voice that judges you and that tells you that you're not good enough, you can't make that money you want to, all them type of things. It can be so mean and so nasty. Now, this inner critic will harm you. It inhibits you and stops you from pursuing the life that you truly want to live. And it can take away your peace of mind and emotional well-being. And the thing is, if it's left unchecked for too long, it can lead to serious mental health problems like depression and anxiety. Now, using self-criticism instead of positive talk is the same as choosing punishment over a reward. Now, while punishment can deter certain behaviours in the short term, rewards are generally better for shaping new and lasting behaviour. So there's 4 steps I have that can help to silence this negative inner self-talk, or this inner critic. Now, number 1 would be to notice the critic. Now, becoming self-aware of it of the self-talk, is key. During consciousness, we have this inner dialogue with ourselves. Our thinking happens so automatic that it just is so rapid that we're not even aware of what we're thinking sometimes. We have that many bits of information coming at us at once. So we need to become more aware of our thoughts. So I always ask my clients to do a thoughts diary or a journal, because then you will start to notice what it is you're saying to yourself. Because once you're aware of the critical dialogue, you're then in a better position to stand up to it. So what I sometimes do is I ask the clients to maybe set an alarm on their phone throughout the day, 2 or 3 times a day, and just sit with your thoughts. Don't try to change them. Don't try to judge them, and don't try to understand them. Just whatever them thoughts are, write them down. Then what you'll see is over a week or so, you'll start to see a pattern. So once you've got that, you can then start to separate the critic from you. So the inner critic, it doesn't want you to notice it. It thrives best when you mistake it as being part of your authentic self. But as I said before, we're not born this way. We start to develop these belief systems from a very young age. And it can be outside influences and learning, such as other people's criticism. It could be other people's expectations or standards as well. So the expectations you had as a child from parents, from the older generation, they could have been high standards, high expectations of you that you've had to live by. This can form your belief system. So the best thing to do is give it a name, any name that will help you to separate it. And it's important to free yourself from its influence. So number 3 is to talk back to it. Now, I don't mean walk down Tesco aisle and start shouting at yourself. You can do it in your mind. Talking back to your inner critic is an important part of taking away its power. Now, just by telling the critic that you don't want to hear what it's got to say, it starts to begin to give you a sense of choice in the matter. And then when you start becoming self-aware of it and noticing it when it speaks up, you can tell it to go away and just refuse to listen to it. This can take practice, but telling it that you were choosing more powerful thoughts instead of listening to it. Number 4 is to replace the critic. So the best way to defeat it is to replace it with more empowering and positive dialogue. Again, this can take practice. You need to grow that inner voice and have it act as your own best friend rather than your enemy. But in order to do this, you need to start noticing the good things about yourself. And no matter what the critic has told you in the past, you do have positive traits, although it may take some effort to retrain yourself to see them. So I have a 4-week program starting on Monday, the 1st of April, this coming Monday. In this program, we are going to look at your goals and how to achieve them. We'll be working with SMART goals. We're also going to find out what your thought patterns are and how we can begin to change them. We're also going to question your self-limiting beliefs and start to eliminate them. In turn, this is going to gain more confidence in yourself, get rid of any self-doubt, and increases your self-esteem, leaving you feeling more empowered. Now, this program is going to be £99, but for this course, I'm doing it for the amazing price of £28. So, if you'd like to be part of the group, we have a Facebook group, private Facebook group, where you'll be added to once you're paid, and we can start on Monday. You will not need an awful lot of time. You need a little bit of time each week to work on your tasks. And I will be in the group available to you for the 4 weeks of the course with any questions, any problems, support. We'll all support each other and smash those self-limiting beliefs. So if you would like to join, then please follow the link there and or contact me for further information. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you then.